Welcome to Suburban Living. This is Ed. We certainly hope this video finds you doing well today. This is going to be the first video in a short series of videos about this old pile of lumber. Now, you may have seen in a recent video where I built a box for the front of my four-wheeler, a cargo box, and it came from this stack of lumber. It's not a very big stack of lumber. This board here is part of a piece of treated plywood. That's what I built most of the box out of. There's a little piece of a rough cut 4x6, just odds and ends pieces of lumber, a little bit of oak in there, not very much really when you think about building things. But my question is, what can I build out of this stack of lumber? I think everybody needs a pile of lumber somewhere. Now, I know this isn't very well taken care of. It's sitting outside. Hasn't been outside all that long. It was in my garage and I moved it because it was in the way. I intended to put a tarp over it and did not do it. And so I was thinking, now what can I build out of this? Something useful, not just to say I built it, but something that I can use in my work at my cabin, or you might be able to use on a homestead or in your garage or some other thing. I'm asking you for ideas. This video we're going to start a couple projects and I'm going to ask for your ideas. If you have any ideas, something that is really useful, you might comment or even put a link to some plans or something else, and we're going to do our best to use the lumber here from this stack. Stay tuned. Okay, what we did first, took this piece of plywood. I probably shouldn't have this plywood laying out in the rain for great periods of time. Cut a piece off the end of it, about 13 inches long. I'm going to make a bench hook out of this. Now you might say, what in the world is a bench hook? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I've been to my library. Here's a book, Build It Better Yourself, by the editors of Organic Gardening and Farming. Must be a magazine that I'm not familiar with, probably an older magazine, filled with information. And then here on this page we see a bench hook, and you might see the picture there. And a bench hook, just reading from the book, is a handy accessory for the shop that surprisingly a lot of handymen have never heard of. It is basically a board with a cleat on one side at one end and a cleat on the other side of the opposite end. In use, it is laid atop a work surface with the bottom cleat butted against the work surface edge. The work, a dowel to be sawed, for example, is pressed against the top cleat, and that way it won't slide, no need to clamp it, etc. I like the thought of this. I've never heard of a bench hook, but I'm going to make it out of this scrap material, and we'll see how it works out. I've already got this piece sawed and this piece cut off and squared up, and you see the evidence here on the ground that we've been tinkering around with this just for a few minutes here. I'm going to cut this to length, screw it on, and then we're going to see how good it works. Hold on. Okay, here's the finished product. Here's our bench hook. I made this to where a person may cut something off on the right side, or you may flip it over, go up against, and then on the left side. So just simply made sure this side and the opposite here. Just something you can make out of scrap lumber, and I know it's hard to tell here, but that's up tight, and I'm shoving, and this is just solid as a rock. Let me set up this camera here and see if we can look at it in action. Hold on. Okay, I know this is no difficult chore to cut necessarily, but I've got a piece of PVC pipe here, just half-inch water pipe. I'm up against the fence. You can see I can shove against it hard and it's not moving a bit. Then I've got my saw here. I don't really want to waste the end here, but I'll do it just as a picture. Lay it up against the fence here. Perfect. Alright guys, I'm very impressed with the functionality of this little bench hook. I have to confess, I've been doing carpenter work for all my adult life and never heard of anybody ever mention or hint at such a piece of equipment as this. but it's something that you can just store even between the studs or something in your building, and it fits perfectly. It's solid as a rock with no clamping, so that's good. Something else I want to do, I want to give you a quick update. Also, I want to make a set of sawhorses. I've got a set of plastic sawhorses over there among all that junk. I want to build a set of sawhorses, and I thought I would make them the exact height of my tailgate here on my truck, and that way if I have to, I can use my tailgate also when I'm ripping bigger pieces of things, something like a piece of plywood. And so stay tuned for that. We're going to try out that old pile of lumber over there. We're going to try to build as many things as possible, usable things. Keep the ideas coming. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe. Thanks a lot.